Welcome to another video by WA Courses. In this tutorial, we'll be going over some intermediate skills tips and tricks that you need to know in order to use Excel. Now, if you haven't watched our beginner's guide to Excel, please watch that first. Now, this is a spreadsheet of some customers with their names, addresses, purchases, and dates. Let's take a look at some advanced formatting settings. Here in the clipboard group of the Home tab, you see a little paintbrush right here. Let's take a look at what that does. So I have this formatting of customers, which is an 18 size and colored blue. Imagine that I would like to copy this formatting to some more cells. For example, surname, first name, address, purchases, and date. I could select the cell customers, which is already selected now, and then click on the paintbrush. Now all I need to do is select the cells that I want to copy this formatting on. So let's select these. You see that another thing that happened was that the cells got merged because these cells are merged. That's not quite what I wanted. Let's undo. So click on the paintbrush again to deselect. Let's choose a different format. Let's choose the format in this cell. Click on the paintbrush and choose the range of cells you would like to format this way. Let's choose a few surnames here. And you see how they turned into bold, just like the surname is. If I wanted to continue this formatting to the next cells, I could go here to the AutoFill handle. This little plus sign in the bottom corner is called an AutoFill handle. If you click and drag, the rest of the cells will be formatted in the same way. Okay, so let's undo those last changes. Now let's take a look at another advanced option, which is conditional formatting. In the Home tab, again, in the Styles group, this button here is called Conditional Formatting. Now, the way this works is you select a column or a row. Let's, for example, select column D. Click on Conditional Formatting. It gives me some options. The easiest way is color scales. I want the color of each cell to adjust depending on the size of purchases. So you can see here, we can choose green, yellow, red, all different colors. Okay, let's go with green, yellow, and red color scale. The color indicates where each cell value falls within that range. So the idea is that green is more valuable than red. We have dark green, lighter green, a yellowish kind of green right here, orange, and red being the lowest values. So this was conditional formatting, which is easy on the eye and easy for you to understand very quickly where your high sales are. So dark green, high sales, red, low sales. Now, let's select this column again, Conditional Formatting, and Manage Rules. So from this window that popped up, you can see the rules that I just applied. So we see it applies to column D, and the format is from a red to a green. Red being the lowest, green being the highest, and everything between being in the middle. I could edit this rule from here, but let's not do that right now. Let's close this. Okay, let's undo our conditional formatting. And again, select column D. Now, you see how these numbers respect currency. So they are all euros. I can see that in the number group of the Home tab. Currency is selected. If I want to change the type of data inserted here, I could click on the arrow and choose General, which is no specific format, just a number, a counting, a date, a long date, a time. So what kind of number is this? I could change it from here. So if I were to change the selected cell to General, the currency has gone and I just have a plain number. Let's undo that. Now let's take a look at formulas. Formulas will help me know some things like what are my total purchases, which is very important. Or what is the average of my purchases. So now I'm going to create a formula. You can create the formula in any cell you like. Let's create it in this cell so it can be visible. So imagine I wanted to calculate my total purchases. The formula I need to use is called sum. So in the cell here, I would type equals sum, left parenthesis. Now inside the parenthesis, I want to include what I am summing up. I am summing up all of column D. Now you see that column D cannot be selected for this function because I have some merged cells right here. Let's delete those cells first and then try again. Let's delete our formula. Let's delete these cells here by right-clicking. Okay, now let's try it again. Equals sum, left parenthesis. I want the sum of column D. Right parenthesis and enter. So the total sum of column D is 48,083. You can see that this number is a general number. I want a currency number, but not dollars. I want euros. So I can go to the launch button here in the number group and choose from symbol which currency. I'm looking for euros. Okay, so any of these will do. I'm looking for euros. And okay, so 48,083 euros are my total purchases. Another formula would be average equals average, parenthesis, the average of what? Of column D, please. Now I should close the parenthesis here, but I don't really need to, so let's just hit enter. Again, it's a general number. I would like currency. And I would like euros. I can also select from here, euros. So my average purchases are 1,265.34. Now I'm going to show you another way that you can sum all your purchases. Let's go to the end of the spreadsheet. Right here, click on the cell under purchases. In the formulas group, there is a button called AutoSum, which will automatically add it up. And enter. There it is, 48,083. It is 48,083. But you see now that this one changed. My total purchases changed because it also added this up because it is in column D. Okay, let's delete this so I can show you something else. Now, I want to find the highest purchases that have been made. The formula to do this would be, let's choose a cell right here, equals max, which is a formula that returns the largest value in a cell of values, parenthesis, I want the maximum from the numbers in column D, and enter. So my highest purchases were 4,362, home tab, currency, or from here, euros. There is also a formula to come back with the minimum. So equals minimum of column D, please, and enter. The minimum, euros, 213 euros. Now we can also use these formulas with a more limited amount of cells. So if I wanted to find the sum of a few cells and not the entire column, I could, let's delete these first. Delete, delete, and delete. So, equals sum, parenthesis. I want the sum of this range of cells, and enter. So it gave me the sum only of those cells. This also applies to the rest of the formulas, so you don't always need to select entire columns. Let's take a look at something else. I want to insert a column, another column before column A. So let's select column A, right click, insert, and here it is. Let's call it number. Okay, and bold. So my first one would be number 1. Now I could either start typing number 2, 3, 4, 5 in all of these columns, or I could use the AutoFill handle. The AutoFill handle is right here in the corner, the little square, and the cursor turns into a plus sign as soon as you reach that point. By clicking and dragging, several things could happen. The first thing that could happen is for the cell to be copied into the rest of the cells. But this is not what I wanted. So you also see this little window popped up, AutoFill options. Let's click on that. I could copy cells, which is what it did right now. I could fill a series. I could fill the formatting only. I could fill without formatting or flash fill. In this case, I want to fill the series. And there we are, automatically numbered. I could also use this function with dates, not only numbers. So what the AutoFill handle basically does is repeat patterns. It could be a series of numbers, it could be copying a cell, copying a format, a very easy and quick option. Okay, let's delete this column by selecting it, right-click and delete. Now, I have in column A, surnames. I could alphabetically order them if I like. I could do this by selecting the column. On the Data tab, in the Sort and Filter group, I could start from A to Z or from Z to A. I'd like A to Z. Now, a notice pops up. Microsoft Excel found data next to your selection, but I have not selected it. Would I want to expand my selection or continue with the current selection? Well, I would like to continue with the current selection. Now, that was not the correct thing to do because the first names stayed put. They did not change along with the surnames. So let's undo that. And A to Z again. I do want to expand the selection. Sort. Now the first names moved along with the surnames in alphabetical order. Another great tool here in the Data tab, Sort and Filter group, is Filter. This allows me to eliminate parts of my spreadsheet. Click on the Filter button, and you see in the title, this arrow popped up. What do I want to do? Do I want to sort? No, I do not. Do I want to sort by color? No, because they are not colored. What filters do I want? I can apply any filters. So I can deselect them all and choose only specific people. So I only want to see these people. Okay, and here they are. By clicking on the filter here again, I can select them all again and my whole spreadsheet is visible. Let's click to deactivate the filter. Now let's talk about freezing panes. So this spreadsheet is not really big, but you see that by scrolling down, the titles are no longer visible. This is why I would use freezing panes. So imagine I would like to freeze this row so it could always be visible here, even though I'm scrolling down. Let's see how it's done. I would go to the View tab and select Freeze Panes. You see now I have three different options. The first one keeps rows and columns visible while the rest of the worksheet scrolls. So to apply this, I would need to select the rows or columns I always want visible. Freeze top row, which is what I want here. So keep the top row visible while scrolling through the rest of the worksheet. I could also freeze the first column, but we want to freeze the top row for now. So let's click on that and let's see if it worked. Let's scroll down. Okay, and as I scroll down to the end of the spreadsheet, you see that my first row here has frozen. It is always visible. That was the end of this tutorial. Thank you for watching.